All right, Talking Trotters, catching up now with Anne-Maree Conroy. Firstly, welcome Anne-Maree.
Thank you, Paul.
Talking Trotters, I try to do it live when I can and pre-record some of the interviews. Tonight it's just going to be a complete pre-record because I've been putting out a lot of content around the Inter-Dominion and with the Trotters and that, so I think if anyone wants to see some more content on the Trotters, they can do it that way. Plus it's a little bit of a quiet day, I suppose, as far as the racing that has been going on. But yesterday for yourself, there was a little bit of a change, if you like, a change in the guard with the VSTA.
Yeah, that's right, Paul. I was voted as president yesterday of the VSTA. I've been the vice president and been on the committee for 6 years, I think, previously.
And there was an election held yesterday. Bit of a change in the guard with a few of the roles. Roles, I think that's the right word. What's the right word to say? I forget. Yeah, roles.
Yeah, executives.
That's the word.
It's a fancy word for it, but roles is good.
So vice president is?
Vice president is Tony Sharia, also known as Tony X.
Yep. When you said Sharia, you had me there for a minute, but yeah, Tony X, which is great to see, his health and him getting back in and around the industry and getting involved with the association.
Yeah, Tony seems to be going well, and I suggested to him last year that he might like to come on the committee, and he's been really enthusiastic and enjoys it, and we're good mates. We're good mates on the committee.
Ian White's been a long-term person on the executive for as long as I have known. He stays on there. There's one other position I know in the back of my mind. I can't think who holds it though.
Yeah, well, you're right. Ian White's the secretary and Katrina Knight is the treasurer.
Another person that's been a part of it for a long time. The VSTA doing some good things, raising the awareness, I suppose, of the trotter and that. And it is so important because you listen to Duncan McPherson, Pat Driscoll. The fastest growing herd population is something that Duncan continually says. But it's not just that. It's what they give to our industry, isn't it, the trotter?
Yeah, it is, Paul. And the VSTA try to promote the trotter as much as we can and push up for the trotter. So we have regular meetings with HRV. I'm on the advisory council panel, and there's a bi-monthly meeting as well that a couple of people will go to. So when we have our committee meetings, we pool our ideas and we ask for ideas from members, and then we take those ideas to HRV and try to get more racing, increased prize money, more money for country cups, and we successfully lobbied to get 3 heats of the Inter-Dominion. So yeah, we just keep pushing up more and more for the trotter.
Do you enjoy this side of things? Someone said there before, Prez, to call you Prez, like it's not the sort of role that I probably could ever see you in, but you are relishing it, and is it something that you actually enjoy?
Yeah, Paul, when Ian White first asked me to come on the committee, I was a little bit reluctant, and then I was pretty quiet for the first 12 months. I think I might have handed out a few trophies at the awards night, but I didn't do a great deal. And as I've got more into it, then my dad passed away, and the VSTA was like a little bit of a home for me, somewhere with people that I was really comfortable with and were very kind, and that's what the VSTA is about, helping other people. And Ian White said something to me early on about we're here for all trotting people, and I always remember that. It doesn't matter whether you've got one horse or you wish to have a horse or you've got 100 horses. We're here for all trotting people, and I feel very comfortable around the trotting folks. So Mick didn't like me heading off to the meetings on my own, so Mick started driving me to the meetings, and Lincoln came to some of the early meetings as well, and Mick was sitting up quietly, and Cole Redwood was the president at the time, and Cole had a nice way of going around the room and saying, what do you think, what do you think? And we all contribute. And after a while he started saying to Mick, what do you reckon, Mick? And Mick wasn't on the committee, but he was a member, of course. And from that, we managed to get Mick onto the committee, and it's something that Mick and I enjoy. We enjoy doing it together. So, and Mick's got a lot more confident, and I've got a lot more confident from that. So, yeah, I never expected that I would be someone who would be on committees and be the president of an association, but it's just something we enjoy.
It is good, and it's a big commitment from both of you. But I mean, trotters are your blood. You said there before about Dad. He did have some horses with hobbles, but not too many. But I mean, predominantly being trotters. So it's probably a natural thing in a way to be pushing the barrow. But the president part, is good. You say there about it, the advisory panels. There's something that I know once you've got on those, you've really enjoyed them. It was a little bit of a almost drag you by the ponytail to get you to start attending those, but there are the sorts of things that you really enjoy now too, don't you?
Yes, I do, Paul, and it's interesting. You think that you know a bit about it, but when you get on the advisory council and you've got people from all different walks of life and different parts of the industry, and you listen to what they've got to say, and you learn a lot. So I hope that I can contribute something to that, and I always take what anybody says to me, I always take that to the advisory council. In fact, Lance Justice said to me once, he said, "Anne-Maree, do you bring every problem that everybody's got?" And I said, yes, I do, because I listen, and even if it's not my problem, I'm happy to talk about it. If it's someone's problem or something that someone's got to say or an idea, I'm happy to take it there. And well, your brother Grant was on the advisory council, and I used to sit next to Grant and learn a bit off Grant. And yeah,
that couldn't have been good.
No, I miss Grant on the advisory council.
I think you should be on a few things, but we won't go too far into that. The Trotters and how they're progressing. I won't say as a president because you've only been in here one day, but as a person that's evolved in the sport and can watch how they're evolving now, are you happy with the way the Trotter is heading? Yes,
I am, Paul, but I think we need to constantly check the statistics, check that we're getting our fair share. And I was saying to my friend on the way over, maybe one day the races will be 50-50, Trotters and Pacers. He was asking me a little bit about the difference and why there's so many races for Pacers as compared to Trotters, and he actually knew that the Trotters are a growth
industry
in the industry. Yeah, so that was interesting that he knew that. So
it is. They are a growth. They are an addiction almost, if you like Claire Payne. You just sent Dell's Destiny around then, and she said like all of a sudden you have so many. That can be standardbreds full stop, but once you get the trotting bug, like it's bloody hard to get it out of your system, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure, Paul. And I miss, in a way, the Monties, because then people could see the trotter in full flight without the cart on, and I used to enjoy riding the horses when they're trotting. To ride a horse when it's trotting that fast is really something as well.
Yeah, I know. Remember you and Anne-Maree used to back in the early days and had a ball and actually really enjoyed, and Glenn as well.
Yeah.
It was a little bit different. And is that something that potentially maybe the VSTA look at trying to get back?
We haven't talked about it for a while. It seems to have gone, Paul, but we were big supporters of it when it was around.
I have a little brainwave on how to get that back, but we'll talk about that one off camera if you like. As I said, this is Talking Trotters, and this is a show devoted to the Trotters. I think congratulations to you. Away from the VSTA, Inter-Dominion heats were on the other night. You were there, you competed, won the standard and the presentation of the Trotter out there. Those 3 heats I reckon was outstanding. But from your point of view, were you happy and did you enjoy that part of the series, first day of the series?
Oh, very much. How good was it? It was unfortunate that the weather put the races back a little bit, but that was the only blip. Otherwise, everyone looked great. The standard of the people, the presentation of the people was very much up, was high, as well as the horses. And everyone was having a ball. But our horse didn't perform on the night, and that was disappointing. But, there's another couple of chances.
I think other than the first heat from memory, which I had maybe 4 or 5 gallopers, if there was one in the other 2 heats, like that's the other part about the Trotter, about how good the gate has got. There was 2 2-year-old trots here today. They've just really, really blossomed, if you like, the trotting ranks.
They sure have, Paul, and I don't know whether that's the breed or there's more people training them that are very skilled. But yeah, we're certainly on the rise.
We're getting more and more owners getting involved in them too, which is what we want, because there's a lot of high-profile owners that have the paces. We talk about Duncan and Pat religiously. We need more of those guys in the industry, but we need more of those in the trotting part of it as well to help it grow to that next stage. Potentially not European because it's purely trotting over there, but almost like America, and heaven forbid if we even went ahead of America.
Yeah, well, that'd be great. And getting back to Claire Payne, Claire Payne is I asked her today how many horses she's got, and she said 10. So she might have 10 trotters. I'm not sure, but yeah, watch Claire.
She should go close to it. I think she got one pacer. I think that Louis Luai is that, but that is about it. As I said, this is Talking Trotters. I have cheated a little bit tonight, but don't forget Haras Trotters bringing you this show. Make sure you check out all of their stallions, and I'll put that banner up there right now, and also go to harasthetrotters.com.au. What are the main challenges you see for the trotter, Anne-Maree, if you like, going forward? Can you see any main trotters, or is it challenges for the trotter or for the industry as a whole?
I think the $4,500 races are a big problem for us, and that's something that we talked about at the committee meeting yesterday, at the AGM rather, and the VSTA, someone had the idea, I think Katrina Knight had the idea of doing up a spreadsheet, and we're going to get Janelle Cross to help with that. And Barry Ainsworth spoke really, really well yesterday. I wish I could get him on the committee. And we're going to actually make a spreadsheet and show HRV, show the people who distribute the money where the money goes. If you're racing in a $4,500 race and you earn maybe $300, we're going to show how much it cost to get to that point and how much it costs per day, per week, month, year, and try to highlight how difficult it is, especially for the trainer, to race their horses in a $4,500 race, and the owner. You know, the driver gets paid and the driver gets a percentage. So I'm sorry, but I'm not going to talk about the driver so much. But for the owner and the trainer, it's very, very difficult to have to race in $4,500 races. And those races are mainly for the low-class horses. And with our NR system, there's a lot more horses sliding down the scale than are going up. We were told originally that it would be a slippery pole of horses going up and down that scale, but unfortunately it seems that there's a big group at the bottom and they're forced to race for $4,500, and that's our major problem.
And the force part is the issue, because I know we've all seen it. There'll be a $10,000 race and it'll get 3 nominations for whatever reason. No one can put a handle on that. And there are $4,500 races, and people will want to go in those. But when you have no choice, that's where it is frustrating, and you almost blow a run, if you like, because you're like, well, I've got to have a start. Yes. And you win or you run second or something, and you blow that good start, if you like, and you get minimal prize money. Yes,
yeah, well, I think if you run further back than 5th, the trainer gets pretty much nothing. Might get $10 or $12 or nothing. So it's very, very expensive. It's very expensive to prepare a horse to take it to the races to earn nothing. So we're putting on the show, but we're not getting rewarded for that.
Does the rating system work for the trotters, do you think?
Yes and no. The fact that you don't drop back a point if you race above your class, that makes it hard. And I think that's why sometimes you might see a $10,000 race, but those low class horses don't go in it because they're not going to drop back a point even if they don't run anywhere. So that's a little thing that might need to be tweaked. And I think there's a few things that could still be changed about the NR system.
It's probably very relevant with the trotters because it is a smaller pool. And get back to what I said there before. You don't have a choice. You have a $4,500 race, or you race 3 classes out of you, and you don't get any bonuses for that other than a little bit more prize money.
Yeah, well, the VSTA did ask at one stage if we had to have the $4,500 races, could they be spread across the classes? But I imagine if you've got a 65 and you have to race for $4,500, you're going to jump up and down about that. But the people who have the horses that are less than 47, they're really jumping up and down now. They've had enough of that.
Because there's no options for them?
No. The VSTA asked for up to 47 heats into a final, and I actually asked for a $10,000 final, and I got a $7,000 final, but I can ask again. It'd be better if we had a $10,000 final. So they've been a good innovation, but we need more than that because people need something to look forward to. You know, if you're training a horse week in, week out, you really need something to look forward to. So the same type of racing against the same horses for the same prize money, that's not something to look forward to.
Totally agree. We need something to be excited about, which is what the Inter-Dominion has done for us. We've got the Vic bred's going to start up very, very shortly as well. We just had the Redwood. You know as well as I do, through winter, there wasn't those things to sort of smile about. People were down in the dumps. So I could imagine if they're down in the dumps already and then they've got $4,500 races on top of it, it does make it a little bit tricky, if you like.
Yeah, it does, Paul. And a lot of us, that's our sole income. You know, we're horse trainers. Mick and I are horse trainers, so that's something that we are very concerned about. And a lot of people in the industry, they don't have outside jobs. They're horse people, and that we need more money.
What about, if you like, standalone trot races? Trot meetings, sorry, not trot races, of course they are. But like Redwood Day, I remember it used to be celebrated. And then I think, and Duncan will tell me off, I think it was Nellie Breeder's Crown that actually became an All Trotters Day early on. Now we have quite a lot of them, but can you see a future if we did that, like if you like just having just an All Trotters Day once a week or the likes, or is it the mix that makes it what our industry is?
No, I can definitely see that would be a good thing, and for the likes of my stable, which is mainly trotters, that would mean that I could race 4 horses or 6 horses on the day instead of going with 1 horse 6 times for the week. So there's a lot of stables now. Chris Swanosio, probably Maddie Craven, Chris Lang. There's a lot of us that would like to have an all trotting day with mixed classes for sure.
Okay, so that might be on the radar as something to talk to.
Oh, definitely. We're asking for that. Yep. We're definitely asking for that.
Good luck to them. I pity HRV when you rock up and you go in there. Hey, Marie, thank you. Congratulations, and congratulations to everyone else, all the other office bearers at the VSTA. I think what you guys are doing is great, but I think we can't rest on our laurels. We need to keep going. We need to keep improving the whole industry. So thank you, very much for joining me on Talking Trotters, but also congratulations.
Thanks, Paul.